Welcome to Monday Meetup, friends. We have such a special night planned for you, and I'm so excited. I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm just going to introduce the incredible Jennifer Thomas, who is here to hang out with us on our normal Monday night and pour some belief right before convention. And I
Hello,
cannot wait to
hello,
hear.
buddy.
Enjoy, Jen.
Awesome. So happy to be here. Thank you, Lexi, for asking me to join you and your team. And thank you, team, ladies, for showing up for yourselves and for your team members tonight. It is a momentous week leading up into all things convention, but also just a regular week in June. That is part of summer, kicking it off. A lot of people are finally like relieved from all the May-December stuff that's been going on and slipping into summer. And this is a great opportunity to help them not slip too far so that they have to like overcome giving up or not taking care of themselves over the summer. And so I wanted to jump on here a little bit, and I want you to, if you don't have a pen and paper to take notes or you don't have your notes out, I'm going to ask you to do that just because I'm going to give you some questions that I probably you're not going to have time to answer all of them today, but just some things to think about because there's a couple of things. Um, Belief and enduring are really important in being a business owner and in being in a health and wellness space. Actually, it really applies to everything that you want to accomplish in life. Whatever you believe and put your mind to and take action and the right action with consistency, you can achieve those things. But if you lack belief in your ability to do that, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen because doubt and growth do not exist on the same playing field. Just like if you're random about things, it's kind of chaotic, right? And when randomness rules, mediocrity reigns. And I don't know about you, but I don't think any of you women here are mediocre women. Sure, mediocre women are great, but you guys are meant for more. And you have already proven that you're meant for more. One, by being here tonight. Two, by signing up to take care of your health and wellness and discover that you can help others do the same and earn an income with doing that. And so, I would love for you to write down on this paper what you are in pursuit of. What are you in pursuit of in life? What are you in pursuit of in this business? And how can Plexus help you do more of it? What are those things? What are you in pursuit of? And how can Plexus, maybe instead of pursuit, it is what are you passionate about? And how can Plexus help you do more of the things that you're passionate about? Right? Because we have to have a reason for being here. We have to have a reason for needing this space more than just helping ourselves feel better. Because here's the deal. Yes, it's very important to pour into yourself and to take care of yourself first, because if you can't take care of yourself, you don't have any energy to pour into other people, right? But you are a part of a bigger community, one plexus, one team, one plexus, right? One community, because women are here to lift each other up. Women are here to help us step into living a life that we really want to live. It's time to get out of it's time to get into the driver's seat and out of survival and into conquering, right? How many of you have been in survival mode? Maybe you're there now. I've been there. I catch myself getting there often because life just takes over if we don't have a plan. And so that's exactly what happens if you don't have a plan for your business. Life's just going to take over, and pretty soon there's no time to do your business. And pretty soon you're not having joy to do the business because you feel like it's just one more thing you have to do instead of one more thing you get to do, because I'm pretty sure most of you said yes because you were excited about the opportunity to, one, not only change your life and feel better and have more energy, but the opportunity to help others do the same and to be paid for your services. Because here's the deal. You are your greatest superpower. You, just you. That is what you have that is different from anybody else on this team. Sure, you might have some similarities. Sure, you might have some similar circumstances, but nobody is exactly like you. However, you are designed, this is an Ed Milet quote, to you're most qualified to help the person that you used to be, right? Where were you before you came to Plexus? Those are your people because you can relate to them, right? Those are the people that you can inspire to see themselves in you and make a change in their life because this is bigger than just you. This is bigger than just all of you here on this call tonight. So, back to those questions of what is it you're in pursuit of? What is it you're passionate about? And how can Plexus help you do more of that? Do you have personal goals? Do you have business goals? Do you have team goals? And are there stepping stones of smaller goals to get you on the way to the bigger goal? Because big goals are really important because sometimes if the goal isn't big enough and it's too easy to achieve, right? Then where do we go? We did it and then we don't know what else to do. But if we don't have little steps in between to the big goal, then we can't get to the big goal because it's like climbing a ladder and we have to like there's missing rungs along the way and you can't reach it, right? So it's so important for you to set weekly goals that align with your monthly goals and monthly goals aligning with a 3 month or a quarter goal. And how do your quarter goals align with your half year or even yearly goals? Maybe you have 3 quarter goals that are going to help you hit your year goal. And it could look like, what do you want to do in a year? And then reverse engineer. Okay, if I want to do this in the year, that means every 3 months I need to be doing what? That means you have 4 3 month windows. And from those 3 month windows, you can break it down into 30-day increments. And those 30-day increments get broken down into weeks. And those weeks get broken down into days. And those days get broken down into the time you have to work this business. Meaning you have to create that time. Meaning I need for you to decide how many hours, how many minutes a day are you going to commit to working your Plexus business? What can you commit to right now? And how can you do that consistently every single day? Because if you're like me, if I don't have it on my calendar and I don't have a plan, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because I'm pulled in this way and in that way in every direction. And I have so many things going that if I don't have a plan, then things just don't happen. So maybe you're in this boat where you're like thinking about Plexus all day long and you're like, I'm going to get to it after work, after the kids, after baseball, after soccer, after all the things. And all day long, when you're doing everything but working your Plexus business, what's occupying space in your mind? Plexus. The need to work Plexus when you have time. And so you're already in kind of a stress mode. You've already kind of created this stress that you're carrying around and or this weight on your shoulders. So you're not really present at work. You're not really present with your kids fully because you, in the back of your mind, are like, I have to do this Plexus business. And you're trying to remember all the things that you need to do. That when you get to the end of the day, now you finally have time to work Plexus, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been working Plexus all day. I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go to bed and do it tomorrow. Because the deal is your brain's been working Plexus all day long. And yet, have you done one single income producing activity? You haven't. But it's just like, I'm just going to go to bed. So, number one thing I need for you to take away from this call is you're going to find what you're most passionate about, what brings you joy in the business, what you're excited about, why you're here, and then creating a plan for what and when you're going to work. Meaning, I need you to not only put on your calendar the days and the time of day that you're going to work, but I need you to be very scriptive of what are you going to do in the first 5 minutes? Maybe what are you going to do in the second 10 minutes? What are you going to do in the maybe the last 15 minutes? Maybe you have a 40-minute window. Maybe you have a 30-minute window. Break it down into the income producing activities that need to be done every single day. Plan your 5 or 6 day week at a time so that you can ensure you're doing all the things that you need to bring you success so that you can find people who need what you have to offer. So you can find people who are looking to change their lives because they are out there, right? And we need to help those people get solutions with Plexus. And here's the deal. They aren't going to get help if they only commit to 30 days. If they only decide to sign up for 30 days, How is that helping them? Because we all know in 30 days, we cannot undo years of bad habits in 30 days. It just doesn't happen because cellular regeneration, meaning your body's way to produce new cells, takes 80 to 100 days. So after they've been on Plexus for 80 to 100 days, that's that 3 month mark. Then you guys probably all can have are actually experience this yourselves where the real magic happens in month 4, 5, and 6. Imagine what would have happened if you gave up right before the magic's about to happen because nothing happened that you were looking for in those 90 days. You wanted something bigger. When we all know the bigger is coming with consistency over time, and that's in months 4, 5, and 6. Not just in your wellness, ladies, but in your actual business. The stuff you are doing now is going to pay off in the months to come. It's pretty concrete. When I talk with people who are struggling and we look back to what they were doing 3 months ago, they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I only worked 2 weeks that month because I took vacation." And so it's crazy, but it really is the work you're doing now compounds and pays off down the road. Why does that happen? Think about it. When you add a new friend, maybe have 5 minutes where you're adding new friends. You're just finding friends on social media. You like what they have to say. They bring you value. So you comment genuinely on their posts because you're just like, oh my gosh, I got to say something. I'm so excited to talk to them and I want to know something. And you ask a question. Then you're going to write down on your paper who it was, why you like them. And so you have a list so that you can start building relationships with that person just because you liked what they had to offer, not because you want to sell them Plexus. If that is the reason you're finding new friends, those people will never buy from you because, ooh, you're just making friends for them to buy something from you. And that is where people come off as salesy. People come off as, I'm not here for you, I'm here for me. And what I know about Plexus and what I know about you ambassadors is that is not who you are at your very core. So in order to remain authentic, which is key to your success, it is making sure that when you are finding new friends, you really just want to be their friend because you love what they have to offer. You love what they have to say. And then organically, relationships develop. And that's how feeding your funnel means that down the road, oftentimes months down the road, it will be an opportunity. That's why getting new people every single day is super important. Okay. So setting up business hours, breaking it down. And I'm going to say that should be one of your number one income producing activities, spending 5 minutes. And here's the deal. How do you get stuck? How do you get 5 people in 10 minutes? Well, you set your timer for 10 minutes and then you set it in 2 minute increments and you allow yourself 2 minutes to find someone. And you're like, whoa, Jennifer, that is like no time at all. And I'm like, exactly. You're not going to get stuck in the death scroll. You're doom scroll. You're not going to just be checking out somebody's profile forever. And pretty soon 30 minutes has gone by and your entire work session is over and you've gotten nothing done but check out one person's profile. Here's the deal. You can go be their friend. You can follow them. You can ask a genuine question. And as you spend time, then you can decide if they're your person or not, if they really are going to be a good friend. And if they aren't, you can just unfollow. You can just write all those things. It's not a big deal. So let's stop making finding the perfect friend such a big ordeal and just be like, who am I looking for? These people, this is awesome. I'm excited. And then move about your merry way, right? When the 2 minutes goes off, you move to the next person that you're trying to find. And that is how your day should go. Setting your timer. Maybe the next 5 minutes is for you to do follow-ups. Where's your list of people that you've been talking to about Plexus that you maybe you're going to follow up with them and this time you're going to send an invite, right? Are we keeping track of who those people are? Do we have a list of 5 in play that we are in conversations about Plexus and then we move them over to the inviting, right? And then when there's one moved over to my other 5 in play, I'm going to add somebody from my conversations that's not about Plexus into my new conversations about Plexus. So I'm developing relationships. I have some people I'm talking to about Plexus, but I haven't invited them yet. And then I invite them. So keeping track, and maybe you don't even have, maybe you have your list that you're talking to that is different than what I just explained, whatever works for you, but keeping track of who those people are so that you know who to follow up with, because ladies, the fortune is in the follow-up. If I could just say that 100 times, y'all know that. Because how many times did it take you to finally say yes to Plexus? Or how many times did it take you to say yes to anything else that somebody invited you to join or somebody presented the opportunity? It just doesn't happen on the first time. Okay. So those income producing activities, consistency, ladies, is the key. It is. It's the key to everything. You can't work 2 hours one day and not work for 2 days and work 3 hours the next day and expect to have consistency. Think about it. What if you did that with your Plexus supplements? What if you took them Tuesday and you took them Saturday? Because that's the only time you can remember. What kind of results can you expect by taking them Tuesday and Saturday? Or Tuesday, Saturday, and Wednesday? Are you going to get the results you're looking for? Absolutely not. So it's just like that with your Plexus business. It's like that if you wanted to get better at something. Maybe you wanted to learn how to play the piano and you only practice 3 days a week out of 7. How good are you going to get? It's going to take so much longer to be a fantastic piano player, just like it's going to take so much longer to have success in your business, just like it's going to take so much longer to have any results with our Plexus products if we aren't consistent every single day. And maybe you're sitting here going, but man, every day, I just don't want to do it. Okay, that is something we need to figure out. So I'm going to go back to what excites you about the Plexus business. What is it that makes you want to be here and help other women feel like you? Or what is it that you need the money for? What do you need the money for? Do you know how much money you need and when? Do you have a date? I think oftentimes something that happens is we have an idea of what we want, but we don't put a deadline to it. Because when we put a deadline, ooh, that means we have to actually do something to get there. Otherwise, it's just an idea floating out in space and it sounds great. Someday I'm going to do that. Someday I'm going to get to making $7,000 a month. Someday I'm going to make $2,000 a month. Someday I'm going to make $800 a month. Someday. I don't know. I'm just going to show up whenever I can and do this business, and someday I'll make it. The someday will never come for you, ladies. It just is not going to. So, how can you find joy in what it is you need to do with Plexus so that you can show up every single day with excitement? Because here's what I also know. How attracted to you, or how attracted are you to people who are not full of joy and excitement and energy versus somebody who's totally excited and they have so much energy and they're real, they have hard moments, but they really just are excited about life and they look forward to doing things every single day versus negative Nancy. Who do you like to spend your time with? Who you surround yourself with is really, really important. So if you're looking for people like you to have excitement and joy, are you showing up that way or are you showing up as negative Nancy? I'm not saying we don't have bad days. We all have bad days, and it's important to notice those bad days. But how can we show up with more joy and passion in this business? I bet you every single one of you ladies in here has something that you're like, I really don't like doing this part of my business, but I know I have to do it. Am I right? Probably a lot of you in here have something to do that you don't like to do, and you save it to the end of your work session. So here's what I'm going to choose and challenge you to do. In that time blocking that I ask you to do, you're going to do it first thing every single day. And you're like, what? But I hate doing it. Exactly. I want you to reframe to like, okay, what is it that I don't like about it? Why do I have to do it? Or why do I get to do it? What is the outcome going to be? Can I be so excited about the outcome that I can say, I'm really struggling with this right now, but I know it's important because when I do this, this is going to be the outcome. And that is super, super, super sexy. And I want that thing. And the reason I want you to do it first is imagine when you were in high school or in college and you got signed a research paper and you had 5 weeks to do it or maybe 8 weeks. And for 7 weeks, what did you do? You went to the party with your friends, and the whole time you're like, oh, I really got to do that research paper. Oh, I just got to do this. Then you go to work and you take on extra shifts. You're like, oh, when am I going to do that? I'm going to do that later. And then you go out with your friends again, and you're thinking the whole time that you're doing everything but your research paper, your mind is thinking about the research paper. And it's this weight on your shoulders. So you are not allowed to experience full joy and happiness because something is holding you down that you know you have to do that you're like dreading. And then as soon as you do the research paper, you're like, oh my gosh, life is so good. Let's party, right? Everything is 100% awesome because you finally got the thing done and you are very fulfilled. And you're like, why did I carry that around for 7 weeks when I could have just done it? And then I could have had way more joy with my friends, way more joy at work. All the things would have been 10 times better. It's the same thing with your business. If you can just get it out of the way and do it first, everything after that is just going to be filled with so much joy. I promise that the one thing you really don't like doing, if you can continue to try to do it first, not try, do it first, but reframe the way you're thinking about it, you will eventually come to love and be so excited to do that thing because your mindset is going to go to work to change, to be excited, which means your energy is going to be up, which means you're going to find the people you're looking for, which means the outcome that you're looking for is going to happen. Okay? Doing the thing you don't want to do first, making sure you have that time, setting deadlines and goals. The other thing, ladies, is when you're talking with people, are we setting expectations for them? Do they know what they are signing up for? Do we know how committed they are? Do we know why they need to change their life? Do they know why? Do they know the impact of changing their life is going to have on their lives and in their daily life? Do they know those things? Because that, my friends, is going to be the key to having retention. Because if we can set expectations up front of what they can expect with Plexus, maybe going over some of the things that the symptoms of die off so they know if this happens, yada, yada, X, Y, and Z. Also, setting expectations of, hey, you're going to notice some small wins over the next 90 days. And the magic is going to happen in months 4, 5, and 6. Share with me on a scale of 1 to 10 how important changing this thing is in your life. Let them say what it is. Okay, you say this is at a 10. It is so important to you. Share with me how committed are you to changing it? What is your commitment level on the scale of 1 to 10? How committed are you? And then hear what they have to say. And then depending on if they say they're a 10, then you're like, okay, what does that commitment look like to you? Share with me what a 10 commitment is. That way you know where they're committed at and if it's enough. And if it's not, you can say, well, I really love this. Imagine you said that this is really important to you. And the last thing that I didn't talk about was if you achieve this, how is it going to change your daily life? What's the impact going to be once you have this? What is that impact? You have to connect them to what their life's going to look like when they get there because we all know making a change in life takes a lot out of us, right? It is really hard to do. And if we don't know the reason they need to do it, meaning if somebody needs to lose 50 pounds, they need to lose 50 pounds, but what's the impact going to be? Is it that they can play with their kids? Is it that they can crawl around on the floor? Is it that they can go run with their adult children, run a marathon or run a 5K or whatever it is? Like, what's the reason they need to lose the weight outside of just getting healthier? How is it going to impact their life or fixing their gut? We've got to connect them to the impact, to what it's going to be like, and then get those commitments from them so that they are signing up to change their life with the products and the support you've offered them. And then you can share what you're committed to do. What are you committed to helping them do? What does that customer care look like? What is the bandwidth that you have to offer? Are we making sure that we're connecting with them every week, the first 4 or 5 weeks that they get started, where it's just a connection, a quick phone call, maybe it's a Zoom, maybe what is it that they need? Asking them up front, hey, this is how I can best support you. What's the best way for me to do that? Do you prefer a text or a quick phone call? Or do you want to jump on a 5 or 10 minute Zoom, right? Those are some things that we can help solve problems that they might be having as they're taking the product, or maybe they are inconsistent, but we don't know that, right? Because in their minds, they were consistent for 3 days, then they forgot 2 days, and then they were consistent again, right? But we don't know that unless we're getting on phone calls or text messages to discover that. So when you're doing that, it's very, very important that you ask open-ended questions. No more yes or no's. It's really easy to say yes and no to something rather than saying, share with me what your sleep's been like. And then they have to think. And then they can go, oh, come to think of it, I didn't wake up at all the last 2 nights. Oh, but I promise you, that same person, if you said, are you sleeping better? They would have said, not really, because the first 5 days of the week, they weren't. It wasn't until the last 2 days that they noticed something changed. And so asking those open-ended questions give you a lot of information and it gives them an opportunity to share and talk about it. Because what do we as humans like to do? We like to talk. We like to share our experiences and we like to be seen and heard and valued. And if you can do that to all the people that you become connected with, I promise you there's going to be so much joy in your life because of your ability to change the trajectory of their life by simply inspiring them and showing up and helping them do that. And in turn, their lives are going to be better for it. Because, ladies, this is so much bigger than you. It is so much bigger than your team, your small team, and your larger team. Because here's the deal, life is hard. It is so hard. And it is super beautiful at the same time. I love that we can have both things existing at the same time, but a lot of people don't understand that. All they see is hard. All they see is struggle. All they see is pain, and they don't know that they can have both. How cool is it that you guys signed up and said yes to helping yourselves realize that there is more than just that? And you have the opportunity to help others do that, not just for health and wellness, but for actual physical, tangible money, because money is necessary. It is a one way to alleviate stress. We all deserve to make choices in life. And sometimes we don't get to just make choices because we want to. We have to make them because we have to. And you guys have the ability to change that for yourself and change that for others simply by being you, simply by showing up as your own superpower, being authentic and real, and seeing people and helping them with solutions that Plexus has to offer. So much that you guys have the capability of, and right now it is the time. I promise you, there is so much talk out there for people wanting specialized care because they're sick of getting the same answers as the last guy and the last guy before that, that they are wanting really, they want to get to the root cause of the problem. And what do our products do? They do just that. They do just that. They aren't miracle drugs. It takes time because they come in and help our bodies run efficiently. So it does take time. So what we have to offer is great. What you guys are doing is tremendous work. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And Plexus thanks you guys so very much for what you're doing because what you do does matter. And people need you now more than ever. And you need you now more than ever. You need yourself to show up for you, and you need yourself to show up in a way that you can inspire other women to do the same. So if you're not talking about the opportunity, I'm not talking about plexus here and there and slinging graphics and all of that. I'm talking about sharing where your life was. How has it changed? The smallest of changes. Remember, it's like that ladder rung. The small changes that you maybe think are nothing are huge to other people. So, how has Plexus blessed your life? Sharing your journey in that way that this new side hustle that you have, the second stream of income, this wellness company that you partnered with has created this. If you find yourself with X, Y, and Z, naming all the things that you struggled with, maybe it's one or two things, inspiring others to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's who I am. And you changed that? Like, tell me more. I'm in. So if you're not sharing that, nobody knows. Nobody knows it's available. So if you're struggling to find people, maybe it's because we aren't talking enough. What we talk about grows. So my challenge to you, besides getting dialed in with your work time and knowing exactly what you're going to do by 5, 10, 15-minute increments is who is it that you're looking for? Who are your people? What are you trying to help them solve? How much joy and passion do you have in this? But ultimately, do you know you're in the right space? Do you know that you can do this? Do you believe that you have what it takes? And if you don't, I'm going to challenge you to read personal development that specifically targets your own belief system. Network marketing, any business, 90% mindset, 90%. I said it, 90%. It's really that much because whatever you put your mind to, that's what's going to happen. And we're out of time. I have a little more, but we're out of time. So I don't want to, I want to be cognizant of your time and give it back to you so that you can go to your families and do all the things. But does anybody have any questions for me? No questions?
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Well, I hope you guys have big goals. And I hope you have worked with your sponsor, and if you haven't, to do some reverse engineering so that you can have what it is you need to be doing every day so that you can hit those goals. So we know that are the things we're doing every day the things that we need to do, or are they not even helping us? Sometimes we're doing the things, but they're not matching what we're looking for,
So
right?
give one question in the chat. What is your favorite personal development book?
Oh my goodness, I have so many. It just depends on really what you're looking for. But I feel like one of the greatest life-changing books is The Anatomy of Peace. This book right here, The Anatomy of Peace. It really does show how we put ourselves in boxes about how we see things, how we view things. Um, if you are struggling with mindset, The Gifts of Imperfection, this is a simple read. Really good to, I mean, The Gifts of Imperfections. All your imperfections are great. It's what makes you who you are. But we don't think that, right? So that's another good one. But I would say those are my two of my favorite. The Anatomy of Peace is life changing. It's life changing. Takes a little longer to read. I haven't listened to it on Audible because I don't know. I like to read. Red Light, Green Light is a book I'll listen to on Audible over and over again with Matthew McConaughey. That one's also a really good book. That's personal development, also with some. It's Matthew McConaughey. I mean, it's got some, entertainment in there too. So that's a great book as well.
Those are so good. And those are ones that I feel like I have not heard of before or that are
Either
not
none of them?
common ones. I've never heard of the Anatomy of Peace for sure.
Yeah,
This
it's really, really good. The other one is Ed Milet's The Power of One More. That book is really great. And I know he's coming to convention. Um, it's a fantastic book. But again, it just depends on what you really need. And so I'd say those are probably my three favorites. There's so many, so many, so many.
You're the
So
best. Thank you
yes,
so much. You know, some of
thanks,
you
ladies.
appreciate you so, so much.
Okay, so happy to see you. And I can't wait. Who's coming to convention? Woo! You better come find me and give me hugs and remind me of your name because I'm not going to remember everyone. I'm trying my hardest, but yes, yes, yes. So dang excited. Big goals, big things. Um, Lexi, did I give you those tips for preparing for convention?
I don't think so.
One-on-one. So before you go into convention, ladies, I'll give you the quick thing. You already need to know what your vision is. What are your goals for the year? Kind of what we went over today. But what are two things that you really need in your business or leadership skills? What are two things that you really want to walk away from convention knowing how to do better or putting into place? Write that down in your notebook. Show up to convention with two pens, some highlighters. Take notes all day long on all the things. Take all the notes. But at the end of every day, do a quick scan of your notes with the highlighter and only highlight the things that pertain to the two things you want to work on writing at a convention. That way, at the end of convention, all the things you really need are highlighted. You've heard it, you've written it, you've read it, and you've highlighted it. And now you get to go put it into action. So you can sit at the last 5 days as a team and discuss if there's any game plans, if you have similar things that you want to work on. But really, anytime you go into a training, what is it that you're looking to get out of the training? What do you need the most? And then once you have implemented those two things, and they're duplicatable, meaning that it's happening in your team, that other people are also doing the things you're doing. You're going to go back and pick two more things that you really want to work on. And you're going to go back through those notes and do the same highlighting of only the things that you want to work on for the next two things until you get through all your notes so that you can have it stack and have things that are working and duplicatable so that you're not overwhelmed, so that you don't have, I have all this information, I want to do everything at once. What do I do? So you do nothing, or you do it all, and 30 days later, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much work, right? So, what are two things you really need for your business or leadership?
That's
Okay.
that application.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm excited for you ladies. It's going to be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yay. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks, ladies. Have a good night.